Okay, ignore what's going on behind me, y'all, because I just came back from a trip, a conference to Baltimore and then to New York for a day or two. More on that to come, either later in this video or in its own video. So there's lots of laundry going on. You're going to hear the laundry, all that goodness. But today, I've noticed that my feed on Instagram has been flooded by a particular fashion show that took place last week, the Victoria's Secret Fashion Show 2025, and people trying to recreate the makeup looks. And when I started doing some research, I noticed that I had most all of the products that were used because the makeup for the Victoria's Secret Fashion Show was done by none other than Mother Dame Pat McGrath. So today we're going to recreate the looks that were done on the Victoria's Secret Fashion Show, because I know when you think Victoria's Secret model, you think this. If that sounds good to you, then please like, subscribe, follow along, and shop my links, Unsolicited Advice, on YouTube and Instagram. So this will come as a surprise to nobody, but I have been obsessed with the Victoria's Secret Fashion Show since I first started watching it. I want to say in 2003 or 2005. It was one of those. Now, since then, I've seen all of them, going back to the first one in, I think, 99. But I remember that Christmas package that started the show, and then Giselle and Heidi and Adriana and Tyra and Naomi. Remember, Naomi did it like 1 or 2 years. And that just got me hooked. And then I remember, the year with Justin Timberlake and Giselle coming out, and the year down in Miami with Usher and Adriana starting the show, all the way up to, those great huge years like 14, 15, 16, 17, where they were in London or New York or Shanghai. And you had those musical guests like Bruno Mars and The Weeknd, huge musical guests. And then, of course, after the 2018 show, it went away for a number of years. Political climates changed, etc. And then last year, it was reintroduced, and I thought they did a pretty nice job with it. Although some of the things that I really love about the Victoria's Secret Fashion Show, like the glamour, the lit floor, the video montages, the big hair, was gone. It was very minimal. There were ponytails, and although I appreciated it, I missed some of those things. And so this year they brought in a new gay, Adam, to do the Victoria's Secret Fashion Show, formerly of Fenty. And he brought all the glamour back, and he brought Miss Pat McGrath back. I don't know if she's ever done it before, but he brought Miss Pat McGrath, and you can't go wrong with that. So today we're going to recreate that look. So I'm going to start. I put on my Pat McGrath primer, which a lot of people don't like because it's coconut oil based, but I've always liked it pretty well. It's not my favorite, but it works pretty well. And I have almost all the products that were used on the show, for the most part. So I thought today what we would do is just go through them, because some of them are new, but most of them are classics that have been around forever. And they're classics because they're still some of the best on the market, like the foundation, the concealer, the mascara. So I'm going to start with the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation, which has been around for a number of years now. And I have mine in 2 shades, shade 9 and 10. But it's still one of the best foundations on the market, and that's because it is so lightweight and thin and really works beautifully on the skin. So I'm going to grab some of that on the back of my hand. It is so thin if you've never tried this foundation before. And I remember when it first really broke, people complained about the $69 price. And now I think they would probably beg for a $69 foundation. But that's where we're at with the climate now. So I'm just going to place some of this on the skin, and it works so beautifully on top of your favorite primer because it's so thin and serum-like. And it's got a natural finish. It's not particularly too glowy, but it does have a beautiful natural finish. And it has a very buildable coverage for something that's so thin. I think that is why, even now, all these years after it's come out, it's still one of the best selling and most loved foundations. I guess we can remove the hat. Although, does that kill the appearance that I might look like Candace Swanepoel or Adriana Lima or something? I don't know. I will tell you, I have been walking around like I'm a Victoria's Secret model all week long, and that will continue as I watch the new show and the old ones on YouTube, because that is a tradition of mine, particularly around the holidays, because the Victoria's Secret fashion show typically runs sometime between November and December. You see how quick and easy that was? Now, I did throw on a brow. I just used a Benefit brow pencil because Mama has not put out a brow product, at least not to my knowledge. Now, the Sublime Concealer, also from Pat McGrath, is a great bestseller, but it is a full coverage, thicker concealer. So if you've never used that before, you just want to be mindful of the fact that it is a thicker, perfecting concealer. It's not super lightweight. It's really there to perfect the look. And I use mine in the shades 9 and 6. 6 is more brightening, 9 is closer to my actual skin color. Let me grab a quick and easy concealer brush, and we'll throw this on. This is also a great product. I know some people have said that they felt like the formula has changed and maybe got thicker over time, but I still really like it. If you want perfection, if you want like a really perfect finish, then this is a great product for that. So yeah, I love the Victoria's Secret fashion show. I have always loved it. And this year's was the best they've had in quite some time, even back in kind of its heyday. I think this is one of the best they've ever had. Okay, so that looks beautiful. And one thing, of course, that I noticed that they were using all over the face, really, was the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. Now, Pat McGrath has a setting powder. This one is the best one she has. It can be used under the eyes. It can be used all over the face because it's very blurring and extremely lightweight. And I think it's much better than even her other setting powder. And you really can use it everywhere. And now it comes in 6 or 7 colors for different skin tones. This is the transparent one, but I also have the pink, I have the yellow, I think I have the peach, but they have all different shades now, and it's just so blurring and perfecting. Just a beautiful product. So let's see, where do we want to go from there? Well, let's build up the face, and then we'll finish with the eyes and then the lips, because the lips have gone viral. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put some chapstick on right now. Just to prep my lips, because the lip combo they used has been all over the internet. So let's go in with a little bit of bronzer from Miss Pat McGrath, and for that I have her bronzer in Bronze Nirvana. What was funny is if you look at some of the videos, there's so many of them that are using these and some of the other older holiday palettes, probably because they were really convenient. They had blush, highlighter, and bronzer all in one. But it's just funny because she hasn't put these out in years, but you can get all of these products in singles. So I'm just going to put down a coating of this bronze color. The Pat McGrath bronzer is not my favorite bronzer, but it's an excellent bronzer. And I say that because it's a really good bronzer for the price, and it's something that always works. It's like a war horse. So yeah, maybe it's not the Gucci bronzer or something like that, but it's a beautiful bronzer nonetheless. It is one of my favorite kind of mid-tier bronzers, just because they're really pretty color. Now, for blush, she had those really glowy cheeks, and she used her, what do they call them? The Divine Cream blushes. These come in a variety of colors. I would just pick the colors that you like best, or if you don't want to commit to a full size, right now for the holidays, they have these little baby sets. And so I just grabbed 2 here, and I figured we could kind of build them up into a look. So I have Fuchsia Fatale and Alluring Nude. So I'm going to put Fuchsia Fatale. And you'll see this looks like a lot of blush, but these blend out beautifully. And then I'm going to take the nude one and put it up a little higher and around the edge just to blend this out a little bit. These are a really forgiving cream blush formula. Again, they're not my all-time favorite cream blushes, but they're excellent. And I think that that's the thing about Pat McGrath, is even her products that are not my all-time favorites, and she has a lot that are my all-time favorites, but even her ones that are not my all-time favorites in their category are still really stunning. And there's a reason why runway shows use them over and over and over, because they're so beautiful. Place a little bit of that more up here. I noticed in some of the footage, particularly on the women of color, she set these with one of her powder blushes, which are also really good. I'm going to grab just a little bit of Sunset Bloom, which is one of her powder blushes, and just set this a little bit, which is a trick to make these color blushes last longer. Okay, so for highlight, I'm just going to grab a Pat McGrath highlighter. She has a ton of them. In this case, I'm going to grab the one called Lotus Nectar. I really like Pat McGrath's baked highlighters, but this is one of her standard highlighters, and it works really well too. This one's got kind of a pinky shade to it. And works really beautiful. Okay, so let's get into the eyes, and I've grabbed my Pat McGrath Intensify Long Wear Eyeshadow Primer, and I'm just going to put a thin coating of that down. This is a good primer. It works really well with Pat McGrath. It doesn't work as well with all shades. Sometimes it can be a little bit thick. It works really well with sparkly shades. It sometimes struggles a little bit with matte or lighter shades, but of course it works beautiful with Pat McGrath. So in her videos, she has shown that she used her new Gilded Nirvana palette, which if you have not picked this up, this is a gorgeous palette. But some of the colors she used, or the colors she used from here across all the models, are they're able to be found if you have like a lot of motherships from Pat McGrath, because she stuck to more of the champagne rosy colors. So although I would highly recommend getting this, particularly during the Sephora sale, the quality is excellent, the packaging is beautiful. If you want to wait, or you want to try to recreate this look until the sale comes along, you could do that, because what she did was she pretty much used these 3 colors here, and I'm going to use this one to put in my crease because I need a crease color, but she used the same 3 shades on all models. So I'm going to grab this one down here, which is called Nude Nirvana, and that is what it is. It's just a pretty pinky nude color. Let's bring you in a little closer, and I'm just going to put this through the crease just to create a little depth. You wouldn't have to. You could use your bronzer. This is a beautiful color though. And I'll build it up just a little bit in this corner out here and a little bit under the lower lash. She kept the look really light and ethereal, so that's what we'll do today too. Can I just go on record as saying I think Candace Swanepoel, that's her name, I think she's been doing this for about 15 years, the Victoria's Secret show, or she's done about 15 of them. That may be the most beautiful Victoria's Secret model of all time, at least angel of all time. I know Naomi walked it a few years, but she's always very clear to say she was never an angel. She just walked the show. But Candace, I think, is the best walker and most beautiful woman, I think, who's ever walked that show. Although there were plenty this year. Adriana and, oh my God, the woman, the pregnant lady who opened the show, she looked so beautiful. And Precious, just really beautiful. Okay, so she pretty much used a combination of these two, and you saw in the video she would just take these two on her fingers and mix them and put that on the lid and this on the inner corner. So that's what we'll do. I'm just going to mix those two together. Really light, really ethereal. And by doing this technique of mixing the two together, you can kind of customize if you want it to be lighter or darker. Just really easy, but very ethereal. Then for the inner corner, she used this pink color here, which is called Pink Venus. The other two were Moonlight Mauve and Platinum Bronze, which there are colors similar to that in her collection. So if you're gonna wait to get this till it's on sale, you could recreate this look. Now this pink kind of duochrome color is really beautiful. And I'm going to bring it up just to brighten up and put a little bit under the brow as well. And that's it. I mean, really easy, really simple, really beautiful. Okay. So then we'll go in with a liner, and this is the Pat McGrath Permagel liner, and this is just the black one. Still a really excellent liner. All the Pat McGrath liners are really excellent. Really beautiful. And I grabbed a Pat McGrath liquid liner, and this one is just in the black, and I'm just going to create a little wing. I do know some people who don't like these because they say they dry out quickly. I've never had that problem, but I can understand that. And there are so many good liquid liners out there. But you can see I'm just creating a little very dramatic, but it's not even a half wing, it's more like a quarter wing. And then I will curl my lashes with my trusty Rephr curler. grab my Pat McGrath Dark Star Mascara. This is the classic in black. Still one of the best mascaras on the market. And that looks so dramatic, and look how easy that was to create that look. It looks really good. Okay, I'll pull you out a little bit now so we can look at the rest of the face and the lips. Ah, not down, out, out. Okay. Jeez Louise. Okay. So, the glow that all of the models had going down the runway was because of the glass skin from Pat McGrath Foundation. This is the glass skin setting spray. This is a great product. It gives you that shiny, glassy look without being oily or greasy. So I like to do like just a pretty light pass all over the face to set. It has a really fine mister. And then go in on the high points with just a little bit more to get that super shiny look on the high points of your face. And that's what she did during the show, because this is one of the products she actually demoed backstage. And then finally, the lip combo that's now sold out everywhere because she used it on every single angel, no matter their skin tone. And it was her Permagel Lip Pencil in Done Undone, which is kind of a cool dusty mauve, and Earth Angel, the lip gloss, which has been around forever. It's kind of a cult favorite, and I hope you can grab some because I'm sure it will sell out because it's been everywhere since that show aired. So I'm gonna put down the pencil first. She has so many good lip pencils. Just pick the color that works best for you. Nude Venus is great. Subculture is great. It was Adam Feldman. He was behind the... Was it Adam Feldman? Yeah, I think so. He's very cute. Adam Selman. How dare I? Adam Selman used to be at Fenty and worked with Rihanna and lots of people, Gaga, Britney, and is now at Victoria's Secret as their creative person over the show, and now much more. There's a lot of podcasts that featured him last week after the success of the show, and he is very, very cute. So I would suggest listening to him because he's got some really interesting perspectives on what it took to put that show together. So let's grab this gloss in Earth Angel to finish the look, and she put this on every single model. It's a beautiful like gold sparkly pink gloss. Well, I kept saying Feldman. He's been everywhere this week on podcasts and stuff because, I mean, it was a spectacular show. So there you go. Quick, easy. What did that? 25 minutes. And I have the look that was used on the Victoria's Secret models. Do I look like Alessandra or Candace or Precious or Jan or Ariana? No, but does it still look beautiful? Yeah. And why? Because these are classic, wonderful products from Pat McGrath that stand the test, and look beautiful under the light and give all sorts of glamour. So if you've enjoyed this, I really would appreciate it if you'd like, subscribe, follow along, and shop my links. It really does help. Unsolicited Advice on Instagram and on YouTube. And now I will walk around this house just like I am Miss Candace, walking that runway. And I hope you enjoyed today. Bye.